right, mate. Episode 9.
Yeah, episode 9.
Yeah.
This is a cracker. I think this is going to be a baller one. This one.
Yeah, another guy. A lot of people know him. He's a character. So yeah, this week we've got Mugsy on from Full Power Electrical in Warkworth.
Yeah, been a member of ours at Trade Group here for, I think maybe since early 2023.
Yep.
Attended our conference. He was an award winner.
Yep.
As sort of one of the most promising members to come through. Definitely a hard doer. He's sort of, he's one of these sort of guys that quite selfless. He's been through the motions as well as in terms of being a business owner.
Yeah.
But definitely is someone that's reached out to support and help a lot of others.
Totally. He's just a lovely guy, Mugsy. But he's got, but he's good fun as well.
Oh, for sure.
And runs a great business up there. So just, really interesting to hear his perspectives. Also, he sort of went a bit viral recently from going on the J. Russell's fishing trip.
Yeah.
Where a dolphin actually flew into the boat.
Oh, wow.
So
Hope you cover that.
Yeah, we'll hear a bit more about that.
I think they even got that on, didn't they get that?
Yeah.
Some footage of that?
If I can, I'm going to try and interject a clip into
Sweet.
here. I'll see if my technological knowledge allows me to do that, so we'll see. But yeah, I think let's get him on.
Yep, he's a typical work hard, play hard character. Can't wait to hear it. Let's go.
All right, sweet. Mugsy.
How's it?
Yeah, bloody good, mate. Thanks for coming on.
No worries.
How are you?
Bloody good. Although I was doing a bit of market research yesterday, and I feel like you might have said in your last podcast that I watched that you'd run out of a few people to come on to this podcast. So
yeah,
when I got your call, I was like, oh, sweet. I'm like one of the first ones. I'm thinking I'm probably like maybe 25, 30.
You were top of the list, mate.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I'm humbled.
Nah, we had a bit of a hiccup last week. I had a couple booked in, and they both, for different reasons, couldn't make it.
Happens.
So it ended up just being me. So I'm bloody glad to see you here today, mate, because it's quite hard to talk to a camera on your own for 25 minutes, especially when you've got nothing to say.
Yeah. Nah, you got all the good things. Eh?
All right, mate. So do you just want to let these guys know who you are, where you're from, what you do?
So I'm Mike from Full Power Electrical. We are based in Warkworth. Do a little bit of commercial, a little bit of resi, between service work, housing. I don't know. It's a little bit bland and boring, really, isn't it?
Whatever comes through the door, right?
Yeah, shit, yeah. It doesn't really matter. It's just whatever comes in, really. Nah, we've got a good client base. A lot of it's repeat business.
Yeah.
Got a couple of lads on. Lady in the office who's magic.
Yeah.
Which makes the world go round, and so you can, it's all good.
Bloody beautiful. And just before we rip right into this, you went a bit viral.
Oh, yeah.
Just recently. Something to do with a Flipper movie, or?
That's right, yeah. We've got Flipper and Dolphin Boy.
So what's the yarn there, mate?
Well, we were on the real awesome fishing comp up in the Bay of Islands.
Oh, with Russell's.
With Russell's, sorry, yeah. And we were 2 boats. So there were 6 of us, 2 boats, and one of the boat decided to go and chase some kingfish on a bit of a workout past Cape Brett.
Yeah.
And fortunately or unfortunately had a dolphin jump out, sort of. We're not even sure quite sure it happened, but it's sort of the dolphins come out of the water as the boat was going, landed on the bow, and then ended up in the boat.
Jesus.
Almost squashing the 3 lads in there.
Yeah, because it would have weighed a bloody ton, wouldn't it?
400 kilos, I think.
Yeah. So you won the comp?
Well, yeah, in our minds, I suppose we did, yeah.
I've never, ever heard of that before.
Oh, it was unreal. Like, the fact that it actually didn't kill anyone is like, is I think it grazed Millie's shoulder and sort of gave Austin a bit of a bitch slap with the tail.
Yeah. Which would have been like being hit by a baseball bat on
I don't
steroids.
think it was pleasant. Yeah.
Jesus. So that, because you were saying that video has kind of gone all over the show, made the news and stuff.
International news. They had an interview with Paddy Gower.
I
think there was a few suppliers that Okuma, I think, came to the party and replaced all their rods because when the Dolphin came down, it snapped all the rods.
Yeah, I bet it did.
Sort of demoed half of the boat.
Jesus.
It's a fair bit of damage, to be fair, eh? But,
yeah.
So,
well, that's one for the box, isn't it, mate? Jesus Christ.
I don't think it'll be a question mark whether we go next year, eh?
Yeah.
I think they were hoping to get a few followers and things on their fishing pages and content creating.
So that's worked, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, bloody good.
Yeah.
Bloody good.
So it's been an experience in itself. For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, I can imagine. I'm kind of gutted because I was supposed to go on that trip, but I couldn't make it.
Yeah.
I had a prior engagement at a wedding.
Those are important.
But yeah, that would have been bloody good.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So first thing I sort of just wanted to talk to you about is, so you're up in Warkworth, but you're not from Warkworth, right?
Nah.
So how long ago did you move up there?
About 8 years ago, I think now.
Yeah.
And it was a bit of a dart at a map, really.
Yeah, that looks all right.
Yeah, that looks sweet. Oh, that'll do. Moved up there, and I think had the great ambition of starting my own electrical company.
Yep.
I look back on it, I think it was real naive.
I think we all go, oh yeah, that'll be a good
That'll be
idea, and
sweet.
then when you're like 2 years into it, you're like, what the fuck have I done?
Yeah. 2 or 3 years in, it was just head in hands, like, what have I done?
Yeah. There's quite a lot, because it's all right being a good sparky, but being a business owner, there's quite a lot to that, eh?
Yeah. I think it's definitely been like the baptism of fire, eh? It's just been it's been an experience, eh? It's been a journey.
Yeah.
It's good. I enjoy it now, but I definitely didn't.
Yeah. You got to get through the hard yards.
Yeah. It's been a journey.
So, because obviously there's a lot of guys who, they live in a town, they do their apprenticeship in that town.
Yeah.
They know every bugger in town, and then they go out on their own, and it kind of makes sense. They've got all the context.
They just keep rolling, eh?
How do you go moving into a new town and actually, establishing yourself as a business and getting work? Was it just sort of down the boozer trying to make mates every night, or what?
Pretty well. I'm surprised I didn't get divorced in the process. To be fair, it's it was there was a lot of piss and a few kegs put on. It was that was the start of it. That was you sort of recognise how much in the smaller towns how much everyone loves their piss.
Yeah, totally.
And that suits me fine, to be fair. But it's like
shared passion.
Yeah. I was like, oh shit, I found the right spot here. So it was pretty much just. I was thinking back at it, like there was a lot of driving. Like we knew people around, like there's know someone in every part of New Zealand almost. But so you were like driving an hour and a half for work here and driving an hour and a half for work there. But it took a long time to get just locally based. So much easier to manage that way too.
Yeah, I mean, I lived up the coast when we had our business, and I think we had one job on the shore, and everything else was Mount Wellington or further. So we were in Manurewa for 2 years. It was good work, but it was like, why is it 2 hours away?
Yeah. So it's 4 hours a day in the week, and it's fucking taxing, eh?
And then you're watching apartment buildings go up in Silverdale and shit. Can we just win this one, please?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. But it was, no, you're right. You bang on the money, man. It was pretty much down the boozer.
Yeah.
Anyone that would listen.
Yeah.
Just right into it. Kids was another big, having kids.
Through schools and whatnot.
And just kind of getting like into the community that way. That's been a big thing for us, is sort of like, okay, sweet. They're not just transient people just coming and trying to take away local business.
The setting up shop here, the putting down roots, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I've talked to you about this in the past, but I think we have a pretty similar take on sort of sales marketing. Like, for me, it's totally relationship based. I understand that there's businesses out there where they might put a lot into advertising a certain product or service on social media, and it's a very transactional, marketing-driven business. But I think investing in relationships with people, companies, your customers, that's where it is.
I think so. Yeah, I'd agree with you, handy, man. It's like you can probably, like, in an opinion, it's probably that stuff works for people that aren't established in the area. So, like, you've got your digital marketing that might pick up those customers, but for the core stuff, the business owners, you've got to have the relationships with them, mate.
Totally. Because the way and again, I'm not an expert as such in digital marketing and stuff, but I see it like a treadmill. Yeah. While you're on it, you be getting the leads, you be getting the jobs. The minute you stop, the whole wheel stops. Yeah. Whereas when you're investing in relationships, that's repeat work. You're probably going to be working with people you like and you trust, and and I think when you start doing job after job with the same builder or construction company,
Yeah.
again, you become a well-oiled machine.
Totally.
You know what their expectations are.
100%.
They know what you're capable of.
Yeah.
And it's the way to go.
100%, man. And it takes a long time to build trust that way too, as well.
Yeah,
though. So you've got to go and prove your worth. And I think it's not not a week or two.
Nope.
It's probably a few years of repeat delivering, standing up, making sure that you go back and fix your fuck ups because they happen.
Yeah.
And standing up to what you've delivered and making sure, and you've got to treat them. You've got to sort of push them up higher up the list and
totally
do all of those sorts of things.
But it's about taking responsibility for what you've signed up to do.
100%.
Right? Because I think as well, when you're building them relationships, it's a bit of a balancing act as well, because you can't just be a yes man. And it makes you kind of look desperate for the work. Almost, you've got to have your lines in the sand.
Yeah.
Where you go, being unreasonable there, I will still come tomorrow, or but you've got to have some boundaries with them, mate.
Totally, yeah.
You
especially like as a subby, like a lot of the old school main contractors are just like, we need you here now. You're like, fuck, well, that's cool, mate, but I'm booked out for 2, 3, 4 weeks, whatever it is.
Yeah, but they don't give a shit, right? They just ring the next
my
person.
shit's done now.
Yeah,
it's so you kind of like, oh, well, you weigh up in your head, are they a good payer?
Yeah.
How much work do they give you? It's kind of like that whole thing. And you kind of like, most of the lads are pretty good locally.
Yeah, small town as well. It's reputation based, right?
I think so. Everyone's just into it, man. Everyone just wants to do a good job and just have that repeat work coming through.
Yeah,
and it's a good, honest policy. It's not like it's just not a set and forget where you just come in, rip shit and bust, and you're gone.
Yeah.
And you get handballed the shit that someone's left you.
That's it. And in them small towns as well, if you get, if you've maybe got a company coming knocking on your door, first thing you've got to do is go, "Where's your current Sparky?"
Yeah.
Because is it you or him?
Yeah, down the boozer.
Who's the dickhead?
Back down the boozer. Who's that?
Yeah,
no, don't wait for him.
Yeah.
It's like it's just a web there.
Yeah, totally.
I pleaded with Elise for years. It was networking. It was everything. It was like the local barbershop.
Yeah.
She didn't believe me. I think she's coming to see it now. But
yeah. You just had to sort of get it done and beg for forgiveness later.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Oh, yeah. She understands. Absolute weapon.
Yeah, bloody good.
Yeah.
All right, so I think another thing that you kind of wanted to talk about, and it's something that's close to my heart as well, is so running an electrical business can be very chaotic. It's got ups and downs, and it can be really isolating.
Yeah.
And it can certainly play havoc with your head.
Yeah, 100%. It's
yeah. So what is your experience with that, and just struggling with kind of for me it was like not just in your personal life but in your business life, you're kind of evaluating yourself on how the business is going.
Totally.
And it affects your self-esteem, your self-worth, and it can drive you into a hole, and you've got to kind of separate the two. Bang on. I agree with you there. It's you definitely measure on how well you're doing, it's I think that 3-year period was probably the hardest. I think that's probably when we came into those dreaded words of COVID. Yeah.
And everyone went, right, you can't go and see your mates.
Yeah.
You can't go and whatever else. And we can always go on about all this stuff, but that was definitely the start of it, and how I mean, you look back now in hindsight and go, oh, I should have managed that better, but it's only now. I guess it takes experience. But I'm with you. I'm with, like, it's hard. There's a lot of pressures, You've got to put a roof over the head. You've got to feed a family. Work dries up. Whatever else is happening, and it just kind of slowly piles up and piles up and piles up, and you go, nah, we'll be right. And you withstand it for so long, and then all of a sudden it just falls apart, and you go, how do you deal with this?
Because a lot of the guys listening to this, if the business owners, they'll know this exact feeling, but you have this crippling anxiety every night when you go to bed about, oh shit, we've got not got very much coming up.
Yeah.
But like, what's going to happen? Because you can't force people to give you work. You can just put the feelers out, you know?
Yeah.
And then the other side is you solve that problem, you get the work, and then you go, how the fuck are we going to get all this done?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it just
yeah.
never. You're like, shit, we've got to do this now.
Yeah. And it's just like I find it easier to deal with when you're busy, and I think most people would agree.
Yeah.
It's like a different stress as to when you're quiet and the cash flow slows up and you're going, like, we've got 4 other families to feed off here.
Yeah, totally.
And cash flow's slowing up or whatever's happening, I just start going. I used to just go down the boozer and try and drink the problems away, but I've found that for me that doesn't help. It actually
Compounds
makes
it.
Yeah, it makes it way worse, and that's just me personally. Probably just like in the boozer, wait for the ambulance at the bottom of the hill, wait for them to pick me up.
But I think that's really common.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And I'm not going to get into the cliches of like, oh, you should go and talk to somebody. And, you know, speak to your mates and look out for your mates and all that stuff. But it is pretty ingrained in male tradesmen in particular, like, shut up, get on with it. And I think even if you're having those feelings of being a bit down or not respecting yourself, it compounds again because you feel guilty that you're having them feelings and you're like, just get on with it.
you're your toughest critic. I think for me, it's recognizing it.
Yeah.
As opposed to like, it's not about talking to someone, like you say, with all the cliches and stuff.
Yeah.
It's recognizing it and figuring out what you can do to help yourself.
Yeah.
To be better. Because if you got like, my thing is I go away.
Yeah, you were
it's
saying,
fucking weird, but I go away, turn my phone off.
Yeah.
They're not, the problems aren't going anywhere. We just come back to them. But at least you've had a break and you've gone and done something that you wanted to do. I come back and go, right, sweet, let's solve that. We can do that.
And you come back and it doesn't seem like as big a problem,
yeah,
right?
it's really strange. And that's just how I cope with it. But it's like recognizing, like last week we were going away to Aussie and it's just like, there was so much going on leading up to it. And it was just like, it was doing 12 hours a day, just running around, just flat out. And you're like, fucking getting into days, like end of days and going, haven't achieved anything.
Yeah, totally.
I haven't done half of what I needed to do.
You don't tend to operate very well when you're totally over the top busy because you're not organised, you're being very reactive, and it just makes it all worse, right?
And I'm like, I don't sit still at the best of times.
Yeah,
I can't even sit at the office.
Like
ADHD
is buggery, mate.
It's like half an hour in the office chair, and you're like, fuck.
Energizer bunny. But yeah, I think heaps of people really struggle with it. And we had Craig Heaton on earlier on the podcast, and he had basically a breakdown throughout. And he said one of the biggest things was he went on a online course teaching him how to say no. So when you're already up to here, and more and more stuff's coming in, you've just got to go, I'm at capacity.
I'm done.
No.
Yeah.
I can't do that job.
Yeah.
Bear us in mind next time we are just booked out.
Yeah.
Whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And I think there's never a point where we, people like us sort of go, I've done enough.
Yeah.
It just never ends, but you don't see what you have accomplished. You only see, I could have done that. Or I could have done that. And I think, without wanking yourself off, sometimes you've just got to take a snapshot and go, we actually achieved a heap there.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah. Nailed it. Yeah. Pat yourself on the back and take it. Have some gratitude, eh?
Yeah, totally. Because there's that thing as well, like, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago before you started your business, you're probably right where you wanted to be. Yeah. Like now.
100%.
But you can't see it now. You just see the next bit. You
just go, oh, yeah, that's where I want to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now you look back and go, nah, not enough. That way. Push,
Absolutely.
push.
Yeah. But it's super important just to take them snapshots. And
I think so. I think so. It's not easy, eh? It's like everyone wants the view but doesn't want the climb, eh?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, and it's not easy. Sometimes it's sweet, sometimes it's not, and you just got to roll with the punches.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think definitely your mental state, the better your mental state is, the better you are for everyone and your team and your family and everything. And that's probably my only cliche. You can do as much reading or as much podcasting as you want to listen to all the stuff to help. But for me, it's recognizing where you're at. And if you're having a tough time, fuck it, go fishing, go and do something.
Yeah, just a bit of time out.
Even if it's the boozer.
Yeah. Bit of a reset.
Yeah. Go and have a few tins, whatever it is. Whatever you like doing, eh?
Yeah, because, everybody loves a bit of tin smashing.
Yeah, 100%.
I'd say that's probly our fucking target market, is like Tin Smashers Union.
Fucking let the valve go away. Yeah, 100%, man.
Yeah. The Tin Smashing Union.
I like it. I'll be there.
Yeah. Yeah, they do cocaine on tap as well.
That's it, eh?
Shouldn't have said that. Anyway,
Everyone
moving
loves the club,
swiftly on.
Mhm.
This business acquisition. Oh yeah, Steph.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, how did that go down? So, give us the yarn. What happened there? How'd you go about it? What did it do for you?
So it was great. It was an opportunity, and like all opportunities are not always presented at great times, eh?
Yeah.
I've got vivid memories of getting a phone call from Steph and being like, "Hey, mate, I'm just calling around. I'm out. I'm done."
Yeah.
I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "I'm just done, man.
Over it.
Can't do it.
Yeah.
I've had enough. My knees are fucking, blah, 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 blah.
yeah.
I'm old. Good on you, Steph."
Top lad.
Yeah. And he just said, "Look, pretty much I'm closing down shop, but I've still got a few jobs going.
Yeah.
Got a few clients that I still would like to be looked after. I think you'd be a good fit." So
Yeah.
it wasn't like we didn't buy his business as per se. We just sort of acquired a few clients and
Yeah.
paid him out probably what he was due for the jobs that were still in completion. But the stitch up was that it was December. Me and Millie were already doing 6
Holiday.
days a week.
Yeah.
And he loaded us with like 2 new builds that needed to be fitted off before Christmas. And I still, Steph, if you listen to this, bud, and we pulled that switchboard cover off, and he told us the switchboard was done. Like, like it wasn't like any other time it wouldn't have been a big deal. It was just a 60-way domestic board.
Yeah.
Not the end of the world, but it was Sunday at 3 o'clock. We've been doing
Just
7
start
days,
crying.
all of December, and I pulled the switchboard off to Live and Circuits, and it was just tails, bro, and breakers slapped into the board. I was like, we've got another. When it's going to be like, it was just
Another couple of hours to
yeah,
get
it was
bloody
just
done.
like, fuck, we were just wanting to get out of there, right? It was just like,
yeah.
and that, but it was good. We developed from that. We've got some really cool relationships.
Yeah.
With some other guys like locals in town, and managed to build on those.
Yeah.
Didn't end up with a whole lot of clients, but we definitely ended up with the pick of the bunch.
Yeah, good, because obviously Steph's a lovely lad as well, so he would have had some bloody good.
Yeah.
Good, he would have had some good buggers that would have worked with him, I would have said.
Yeah, totally. And it's interesting, eh? We've had a few phone calls like that in the last 6 months. Like, we probably haven't moved on it as per se, but I find it sad as well, because these guys have worked hard to build a business, and they just go and close shop. It's like,
and
not that nothing's for free, but it's like kind of like, fuck, man, you've worked hard to build up a business. No matter what you've done, it's still like it's got to be worth something, hey.
Trying to value a trade business is very difficult because you've got the relationships. Are they going to pass on?
Totally.
There's the cliche of you're only worth what basically your vans are worth. And stuff. And if you've got any SLAs or repetitive maintenance jobs, stuff like that. It's tricky.
Yeah,
it's
totally.
tricky. I've seen it in my career where, a lot of companies that sell fail.
Yeah, right.
Depending on who the people are,
okay.
you know what I mean? And the clients don't get handed over properly, and they go, "Who's this guy? I like dealing with you, not the name of the company."
Yeah.
So it's tricky. So it's good to hear that you at least got some success.
Yeah, it was good, man. It was. It probably enabled us to be able to go and look for like another guy to help sort of with workflow and like the load of work. So it definitely worked. It was good. It was just a great opportunity at a shit time. We got it done, but I think because of the December and the hours that we had to put in to get it over the line, the builder went, "Oh, fuck on you, lad. I don't think you're going to get that done."
Really proved yourself. Yeah, that's bloody awesome, mate.
So it did work out well. Would I do it again? Oh, no. Not at that time of year.
Well, you've done it now, so it's a positive.
Yeah,
but would you want to do it again?
Yeah.
I'm going to put you on the spot here a bit.
Cool.
Take your pants off. No, I'm joking.
Right. One coffee. Oh, no, it's not quite midday.
Just one question that I always find interesting to hear from guys like yourself. If you could go back to Mugsy 8 years ago, setting up the business, any tips you'd give yourself?
Buy into an existing company.
Rather than setting up from scratch? Just way easier?
Go and learn it. Like, the people that have been doing it is where you get your knowledge from, eh?
Yeah.
I think, like, I mean, in saying that, some people like the challenge, eh? But I think I would go in and buy into an existing company, and go and partner up.
So it's set up, it's structured, but you've also got a mentor there because it's learning the business side. How did you go about that?
Just
trial and error?
Yeah, man, trial and error.
Yeah.
Asking, like, I'm, you know me, I'm not afraid to ask any
you're
questions.
Not shy, mate.
Yeah, I know, I've got no pants on. It's, just going and asking people, like, in all sorts of different industries, having a crack, eh?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, what do you got to lose?
Yeah, 100%.
Like, hat goes off to anyone that wants to start, but I think if I had the opportunity again and I got presented, hey, look, there's growth for you in this, I'd 100% be on board with that.
Yeah, no, that's solid because it's funny. I see these guys out there, good sparkies, and they've got good workflow maybe because they've set up in the hometown, as I was saying earlier and stuff. And they're making money, but I go and look at how they're operating the business, and I was like, just a little bit of knowledge and a few tweaks, and you'd be earning way more, would streamline your business. You're not spending 6 hours every week doing manual paperwork to run your business.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and they just don't know.
Yeah.
Because the bar of entry to start a business in New Zealand is, have you got $300 and half an hour and a Wi-Fi connection? Basically, you know what I mean? You go and do that in Aussie, you've got to do a foundation business course. True, and I cannot understand for the life of me why we don't do that here.
Well, I mean, it's like everything in New Zealand's a little bit backwards, but it's like, I think, like, on that, I think the only restriction in our trades is because of that. Yeah. So guys come in, we start, we go, oh, look, we don't have any overheads, we charge $75 an hour or whatever it is, $70 an hour. You know, guys who got overheads are charging 85, 90, 100, whatever they're charging. Yeah. But the restricting factor is the young bloke coming through, and that's our only restricting factor because you go and go, well, we're 90. He goes, oh, I'm 75. They go, oh, we'll take you. Yeah, totally. And God bless them for giving a go. They just don't know. Totally. And it's like all the young fellas coming through. I'm like, make sure you start off on good rates, man. Do you want to work 20 hours a week or do you want to work 40?
Yeah. Well, not just that, but it undermines the value of our industry.
Totally. But as a young fella, if someone told me I could work 20 hours a week and set at 40, and I could go fishing 2 days a week or whatever it was, why wouldn't you charge more?
100%.
So that's our only restricting factor, I think, is like not being banded together. Everyone else seems to have it, the plumbers, and this is just an opinion, but that's our restricting factor. Yeah, around our pricing and how we charge. Totally, and you're bang on. Like no one's got the knowledge to know how to do it, So
no, and I think it's a double-edged sword because you've got these guys, young fellas, and they go, I'm going to give it a crack. Where I'm like, that is fantastic. Like I think it's more prevalent in New Zealand than anywhere else where you've got young tradies going setting up their own businesses. Awesome. Yeah. But I think we're also quite chronic for kind of imposter syndrome and undervaluing ourselves when we first start. Yeah. You know, when you first started 100%. The business, you would have put a quote or an invoice together and go, can't charge him that.
Is that sweet?
Can't charge him that, you know. Yeah. But that is what it was worth. Yeah. You know, and you kind of second guess yourself, you 100%. Give discounts. Yeah. And it's bullshit. Yeah. You know, so.
It's still, and people are still kick back every week. Oh, you charge me this for that. And it's just like, it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, but I think we're in the same boat, like with all the materials increases and then wage increases and we still put together an invoice for a little job and you go, is that how much that is now?
Yeah, it's mind-blowing, eh?
You know, and it's not like our margins have gone up or anything. Nah. It's just what shit costs.
Yeah.
You know, it's wild and it's same the world over, right? Groceries, everything, you know.
So if you had more guys coming in under companies and bringing, you know, maybe their 2ICs or the GMs in and guys that have been doing a good graft, you can help teach them that and bring them through. Yeah. So they're not second guessing that as well, you know. So you go, no, totally. That's sweet. That's just how it was 5 years ago.
Absolutely. Like I any guys who do, and I'll say this to everyone who's listening or watching as well. Any guys who have got visions of going out on their own in the future, I always recommend that you should go and work for like a reasonable sized company and see if you can get that role as a project manager, a foreman, an estimator, and start learning how the business runs before you go on your own.
It's the Wild West out there, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was lucky enough to go through all them stages.
Yeah.
And still, I got into business and I learned so much in the first year and in the second year. Now, being in the position I'm in now and hearing everyone's collected experiences, I've learned heaps in the last 12 months as well.
Yeah. And this is cool because you get to pump it out to everyone else to give the knowledge to go, this is where it's at.
We're trying to demystify the industry because there's no roadmap. It's all smoke and mirrors.
Oh, totally.
We're just trying to share that advice. You know?
I kind of like operating in smoke and mirrors, though.
Yeah.
A bit of the art of bullshit.
Because you're a goddamn deviant, mate.
When I'm I'm not going to say that, but you almost had me.
Say it.
Yeah, no. Yeah, we can all say things, but it's bang on, bro, bang on.
Good question.
Real good question.
That'll stump him.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely nothing. No.
Pretty good at going home.
Yeah.
Fishing's not bad.
Yeah. I think for me, I'm good at picking the people that suit us. So like bringing the right people together.
The team together who works for you. Yeah.
Everyone's solid. Everyone's they're all solid, real trustworthy. Like. Yeah. Proud of who our team is, like you never judge anyone else's crew, don't know them, but like for how we operate, it's a good level of, there's a good mix of social. We all work hard. Yeah, we're a small crew. Everyone gets after it. Everyone stands up when they need to.
You can see because even from the outside, I can see you've got pride in your company and you look after your staff. You know what I mean? And you make them feel valued, which is rarer and rarer.
And it's getting harder and harder to do so, because everyone wants so much more for nothing as well. So it's kind of like this weird scale.
Totally. So it's tricky.
Probably the only thing. Look, I'm a pretty average bloody Sparky, to be fair, but
you're preaching to the choir there.
The art of bullshit.
Yeah, fake it till you make it.
Fucking oath, bro.
Nice. Right, I've got one last one for you. Let's finish this on a nice positive note.
Like it.
Give me your. You got any funny yarns from offsite? There must be some characters up in Warkworth there. What's the weirdest shit you've ever seen? What's been going on?
The weirdest shit. To be fair, we stay out of the traps. To be fair, it's like as much as I go down and dip my feet in, we sort of stay out of the traps. It's kind of like it gets a bit weirder when you move out of Warkworth. To be fair.
Yeah.
The weirdest, man. That is absolutely on the spot. It's probably the hardest question of the day.
Yeah. Well, look, I'll give you an example.
Yeah, I'd like some example.
So I was working in a guy's house once in England, council house, rough area, and anyway, firstly, there's a lady downstairs smoking a crack pipe and feeding a baby.
Fantastic.
So that was a good sign.
Yeah.
And then I had to go in the roof, obviously, to wire the lights, and I sort of like put the steps up, like took the thing out, and the partner's like, "The fuck are you going up there for?" It's like, so that's where the cables are for the lights, mate. Rerun them. It's like, okay. Anyway, I go up there. There's a wheelie bin up there. Opened it up. It probably had half a dozen sawn-off shotguns in there. So I just wired the light, shut it. Anyway, I come back down the ladder and he stood at the bottom of the ladder, like eyeballing me. He's like, "Do you see anything up there?" I was like, "A couple of cables." That's that. And then he was like, "Sweet, get the fuck out of my house." Basically. I was like, "Fuck."
Totally. All right. So that is no, we haven't. I'd say there'd be a few grow rooms around, but it's like ask no questions, hear no lies.
I'm not talking about your house.
And the banana plants. No, I'm retired, mate. I'm retired. It's no, I always find like the weirdest shit is like that. I went to a call out a couple of months ago on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Trying to find out why she had like no power in half her kitchen.
Yeah.
So I went into the switchboard, and of course there's the smallest little washing line with the skimpiest set of bangers hanging off it.
Yeah.
And she's kind of standing
with
there.
And skiddies in them.
No, they were pretty tidy. No.
Yeah, I've got them at home.
Yeah. But my mind straight away was like, this is fucking Target. Yeah. Someone's called me out here.
Yeah.
So I'm like this trying to open the switchboard, like flick the switchboard open and have a look at the breakers.
In your face.
It's on my shoulder. And then she didn't even move them the first time. it was the second time I went out there to take the lid off it to go and test the power or whatever I was doing. And she was like, "Oh, sorry about that." And I was just, "Oh, yeah, no, it happens all the time." I was thinking, looking around, going, "Where the fuck is the camera?"
Yeah,
man?
yeah,
Everyone's
yeah,
waiting
yeah,
for a.
yeah.
As you walk past them or something weird, eh? Like, yeah. It was just, I was like, this is,
Yeah.
it was too set
Well, I mean,
up
you do know electrical burning smells like fish, right?
Oh, so good. So I just thought it was too much of a setup to be real, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It sounds about right.
It's like, no, I haven't seen the sawn-off shotguns in the ladies'
Yeah, just the
smoking.
once for me. I saw that.
Yeah,
That was
it's
enough.
heavy, eh?
Yeah, not good.
It's heavy. I'm
Yeah.
sure. No, look, there's some strange cats about in every area.
Yeah, there are, and they all seem to want electrical work. All right. So last thing, have you got anything you want to say to the people out there listening? You got any gems, like something real inspirational,
Real inspirational.
or
Hey.
just whatever you want?
Yeah. Nah.
Nah?
They're all too cliche, man.
All right, sounds
They're all
good.
too cliche.
All right, well, we'll just bloody wrap it up then.
Yeah, fantastic.
Thanks for coming on,
Cheers,
mate.
brother.
Pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Cheers. Right, Mugsy.
Lived up to billing.
Yeah. Really enjoyed that chat with them. Bloody good. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. It surprises me with some of these guys when they start going deep,
Oh yeah, it's a common theme, eh?
Yeah.
And the thing is, I'm just so stoked that you provide this platform and this sort of environment that they can be really honest.
Yeah.
He's always been that way anyway. But I think, when you start talking about mental health and you start talking about the journey and we're starting to see him being really successful, he's got bigger plans for the business down the track.
Totally.
But Jesus, he's had to go through the motions to get to where he's at.
As a lot of them have. And we
Heaps.
have.
Yeah, the common themes and the stories are so similar. I'm just so stoked that we've got an environment and a network where people feel really comfortable to reach out and communicate with each other.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, what the cool thing that I found in that conversation was we didn't just do the old yes, mental health's a big issue in the trades, big issue with business owners. We actually went down to how did you cope with it? Practically on the day to day, not just speak to your mates. We tried
No.
He really got down to this is how I deal with it. I spoke about some of my own experiences with that as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, really good, but top lad.
Yeah, hard doer.
Yeah.
Like I said, he's just the sort of guy you want to go and have a beer with, break it down with. He's
I've had a few beers with him. Mate.
Yeah, so have I. And so he left his mark in Christchurch when we went down to the conference in 2023.
Yeah.
But again, people just related to the guy, and he's easily to be attracted to be
Yeah,
fair.
totally. And just for the record, I would like to clarify that he is not a panty sniffer, and I will not have that said about him.
No, fair call.
It was not his fault.
He's got to stop telling that story.
It was the placement of the panties. So, yeah, all right. Well, I think without further ado, all that remains to be said is keep puzzling out there. I've fucked that up, Hannah.
It's all right. It's our last one.
Yeah, do it
Why
again.
wouldn't we?
So,
The whole thing?
Yeah, I've totally fucked it up. So,
Well, let's just leave it in.
so yeah, without further ado, stay
What is this?
stay safe out there. Keep puzzling.
Keep puzzling.
And we'll see you buggers next week for another go.
Yeah, we will. Thanks, mate.
Ta.